like to talk.
point it towards you, not away from you.
I can see the spot.
Hold it closer.
Wow, he's taking, okay. All right, here's the moment you all waited for. It's good to see that many people here. I understand the crowd is in the mid-80s, although we really lost track near the end. It seems like yesterday when we celebrated my 80th birthday right here. A little sad when you see a lot of friends, relatives, and neighbors are gone from the party of 2014. Yeah, you could say that again tonight. My main thoughts must go to my wife, Terry. Without whose help, assistance, there would not be this event here today, or tonight, as it seems to be running a little late. Going a little further, she has no doubt added decades to my life and happiness. If you expect any more empathy, don't. I also thank the others this Saturday that have made this a pleasant eulogy roast combination. I always wanted to hear my own eulogy, and I have a chance tonight, especially with that ambulance outside, with their words and deeds. And I thank my sons and the other speakers, however brief some of them were, comments about myself. Going back, I must mention that the first in my family to come to the United States was my grandfather, Jacob Seberg, who sailed on the ship Bohemia. That's a fact that no one but me knows. In 1886 from Shashmagan, Latvia. Try saying that in your sleep. Mainly to avoid a 30-year service in the Russian army. Without going into 19th century adventures in the Roseland-Pullman area, I must thank again our 21st century attendees, which you are. We are in the 21st century for those not up on new facts. I must thank again Marcianos, I'm going to thank later with money. And should introduce some of them to you. After all, it's not all me all the time, even though all the pictures are me from every state of my life, it seems like. With the mustache, without the mustache, standing horizontally or almost vertically. People are here today from California, a number of people. Colorado, more than California brought here. New York, few, one maybe. Kentucky, who drove 4.5 hours to get here by car this morning. And Indiana has to count, it's not our state, it's their state, even though it's a Republican state, as they say. And Illinois obviously, and Japan. We invited Dan here, the bar group, I call them the bar group because that's where we meet, in a bar and we drink. And we named him an honorary member of the bar group despite his age and the fact that most of us are 40 years older than him. Caroline is also well represented with groups like the Pi Tau Pi Fraternity, which I joined in 1956, our championship trivia team in the corner. Championship. We won 8 out of the last 10 times We played in Downers Grove, and we won the last two contests they had in Caroline, which was 18 tables of 8, so you'll have to add that up to see the amount of people that we beat. Personally, I love the women, but I wanted to beat them all, and we did. Oh, the other group, the Wednesday, I named them already, I can't name them twice. The Wednesday Sports Bar Group. We used to play tennis together until the wife said, we're not gonna let our husbands play tennis and do bad things to their body. And, horrible things that I can't really bring up. Present are sportsmen like, I'm gonna name a few here by name. Jack Finley, who had 2 holes in 1 in golf. Yeah, let's hear it for Jack. Bob Mannion, who has, this is hard to believe. This is a feat that I don't know anyone else that's done this. He has golfed in all 50 of the United States. No mean feat. And I believe he told us the worst course he was on was in North Dakota?
Yes, sir.
Okay, North Dakota.
It was a
For
goat
those
ranch.
North Dakota fans,
It was a goat ranch and the goats wasn't there.
okay. Bowlers, we have like Tom Zook, who was a bowler once, now he's a bum. His favorite word, by the way, I don't make up that word, who had the last 800 series in Caroline. Oh, wait till you hear what the next guy did. All these are true, too. Jim Cece, who is my grandnephew, who in 300 games in Denver area, he has had 15 300 games. Am I correct, Jim? Correct. The first one came at his age 17. Okay, the first 300 game and his high series, again, hard to believe, but he doesn't live in Caroline, so he isn't old and decrepit. He had a 823. Okay, these numbers I can't make up, they're just too high. We have Dick Durlacher here, who is probably the only one that was in high school. I went to Hyde Park High School years ago at that time, and Dick is the only one here who was in Hyde Park at the same time I was, which was
You were there with my dad.
who was never in the office. Well, he was in the office because of you being in trouble, right? Dick Durlacher, whose family has been world-class wrestlers in our country, both in the North Side, Illinois, and USA, and others around this earth. I think he was a champion. He almost made an Olympic team, one of his sons. In Kazakhstan, he made a big thing there. At least 8 members of the last Caroline 2010 softball team are here tonight. You could tell by those on walkers and age. Also, many tennis players from our area. Of course, I think we now inactive in tennis, although the nets are still open on our courts. Okay. Wait, I'm not done. On a personal side, my 3 sons, wasn't that a TV thing? Yeah. My 3 sons with Fred McMurray, etc. Well, obviously, Fred McMurray wasn't my son. 2 grandchildren, which is all I have, which is probably low in this room. Everyone seems to have 10 to 20 grandchildren, it was all over the place. But I can honor them mainly because there's only 2 of them. And a host of nephews, nieces, cousins, and their various offsprings. All, with one exception, over 30 years of age. We have one that's 29 and a half. Okay, but that's the youngest one here today. All the rest are at least 30. My oldest friend, Lee Katzen, who I'm wearing his hat tonight, that he got when he turned my age, hard to believe, whom I first met in Sunday school in 1942. And the war was not yet won then. By the way, Leon still plays tennis, if you can believe that. He may not know he's playing tennis, but he still plays tennis. By the way, one of only 4 people here today over age 90. If you can imagine that. You can almost, if there was silence, you could hear the bones creaking and the arteries hardening. We have 90% of our fraternity mentioned earlier in attendance. We're the last chapter left out of once 39 chapters strong around the country. And we're the last chapter, and when people younger than me die off, it'll be it. A Marine. We have a Marine today who served in Afghanistan in the war. Gas Broward. I believe he was in the tank corps. Yeah. He was. I actually got that right. 2 of my wife's Parker High School friends are here tonight. One is on her way to the hospital, and the other one is here, Edith Nagel. Also, I hope I counted this right, 8 of her Carillon posse. That's a good way to count it. My stockbroker, you get credit, Roland Keller, who has an amazing record of picking winners for me. It's pretty easy. I never seem to sell anything. I just buy. Well, what the heck. Former movie star is here, Stan Span, who was last in the movie, I have the name wrong, The Towering Inferno, but what is the correct name? Backdraft. A lot of you saw it. It was a popular movie, and Stan had a good part in it. He still gets money. Every month he gets a check, which he takes to the store and buys a dozen eggs. All right, let's see. Interesting. Some 25 years ago, noted Southside vocalist, wait till you hear this guy, Johnny Del Rico. Johnny Del Rico, one of the things he did in his life, he was president of his class at Banker High School in a year I shall not name. His real name is John Pape, and he starred with the Flying Fingers of Al Morgan and Two-Ton Baker. You may remember names like this that just live on forever. Two-Ton Baker, wow. And Southside bars like the Mocambo, high atop the Parkway Theater building in downtown Roseland. That was Johnny Del Rico. I was going to have him sing later, but we did the happy birthday song, and I don't think he knows the words. Let's see. Alleged mafia member, Gerald Gralla. Look it up. In a book of mafia characters from 1925 to 35, his name appears. That exact name, Gerald Gralla. And He keeps insisting it's not him. Well, he isn't old enough. It doesn't even look like him because the guy is dead now, probably shot. Okay. Carl Walter, who was in the Navy and in the Coast Guard and was a police captain. I don't know what official title he had. What was it? Whatever it was. He was also in the police force of both Chicago and Lamont. So, in case of any trouble here tonight, any of you oldsters get in trouble or what, decide to start a fight, he's ready to take care of you. Okay. Let's see. My same neighbors I've had in my home in Tamarack and Dover from 1999. George Shimwell and his wife, Ken Erickson on the other side. Both of them were there when we moved in. Almost when we moved in, for the same year. The only rabbi I know, Len Zucro. He admits he knows me. I believe he knows me. Vince DeVito, who has been on 55 cruises and counting. But I said and counting because I don't know the exact number, but it's around there. Don Schneider, who, he also did a feat, more than one feat. He's a bicyclist. He bicycled across the entire state of Iowa twice, going from the Missouri River to the Mississippi River. And he also went on the bicycle from Pittsburgh to Washington, D.C. once. I think that's a pretty good thing since I don't wear bicycles. Mike Shagan, who talked earlier, is my personal social chairman and has been a social chairman of our group for many years. Let's see, Bob Friedman. My last boss in my final job at Dearborn Wholesale in 1997.
You said he was pretty bossy.
Nice guy.
If you think he was bossy. Whose father, Leonard, was my favorite boss of all time. When he came in a room, well, you know who was in charge. Al Luncic, who could recite, and he did tonight, who could recite the introduction of the old Lord Ranger show from memory. Very good, very good. I could do the shadow, but I'm not going to tonight. By the way, my by name is Lamont Cranston. Art Stein, who throws nickels around like manhole covers. I thought that would get more jokes. Shell Gibbs, the only man that I allow to hug me. People will talk. I don't care. I'm 90. You can say whatever you want. Al Lone. Yeah, right. Wait, the applause can die down. With whom, I went with them, he and his wife, whichever wife it was. They went to every field and Big Ten stadium. Because we used to go to a football game every year with the Big Ten. Then eventually we couldn't buy tickets either because we couldn't afford them anymore or because you had to be an alumni. And obviously you couldn't be an alumni of every Big Ten team, which is now called the Big 18. It isn't the Big Ten anymore. Joel Weiss. The greatest Pi Tau Pi member of all time. Beside myself. Laura Seberg. the last of 3 L. Seabirds, covering a period from our presidency of Andrew Jackson through today. Now the Queen of Amazon. By the way, the 3 L's before her were Louis Seabird, who died in 1918, myself, who was dying with this talk, and Laura, who is there and certainly vibrant as hell. Stan, no, I cannot pronounce it, Perorowski. That's wrong, but I'll say it again. Perorowski. I'm not going to say it anymore. Noted election official, former King of Poland, which, you know, considering they haven't had many kings. And let's see, way over Prince, which is what Jerry Gralla is, the Polish prince. He is the Polish king, which is bigger. Fred Beck, who gave those masterful words earlier, the hardest serve in tennis at Caroline. Yeah, I think so. Those with a harder serve are all dead or injured. Injured in every sport that he ever tried. A lot of them my fault, but I was blamed for bringing people like my neighbor George out to play tennis. He got injured. Linda's husband, I took him out to play tennis. He got hurt. I took myself out to tennis, and I thought, I'm not going to play anymore. These guys can beat me. So I gave it up. Jordan Rabb. I think I pronounced that. Rob. No, that means, no, Rab. I like Rab better than Rab. So, you know, I'm old, as I said before. I can say what I want. Our top trivia team player, I gave him the credit, even though our team has some people who know, it seems like everything, whose Aunt Jill started trivia in bars in Aurora, Paulie's of long memory. By the way, our team got a perfect score once. All questions answered correctly for the first time ever. That includes the Groucho days that we had in our old neighborhood, near Midway Airport, telling me to hurry up. In all our trivia years, that was the first perfect score we had. Don't worry, almost done. It's terrible to have your own son tell you hurry up and perfect. Because, no, this is the last page. I know you're all waiting to go to the washroom. Oh my God. Because of the constraints, time constraints, yeah, I guess that's the way to pronounce it. I cannot name or roast everyone here, thank God. Put this off to the fact that at age 90, I can do whatever I think is prudent or sometime exaggerated. Use the fine parts of this for my eulogy. I say that mainly for my son Jim, who once told me, I will be the last person to see you naked. You see how fast he rushed up when the lady passed out over there. You don't have to guess what his profession is. The roast, well, I didn't really roast you too hard. You should soon be forgotten, buried with my bones. That's it.